I am having some issues. My internet actually just came back on, so I'm not even sure if it's working right now. But maybe it is. All right. How's my video and audio? Am I coming in at all? Because actually we've been having some internet problems, and apparently we're supposed to get a new antenna. So next week I should have a new antenna. Like, I don't know, in a couple days I should have it. Just have to go pick it up. But love the spear video. Excellent. So is my video coming in all right? Because I've been having internet problems. We need a new antenna. Audio okay, video not as good, but okay. Video is good enough. All right. Well, we're just gonna deal with this as well as we can, and next week I should have a new antenna. Because like the way my internet works is there's a tower like 15 miles away, so we have an antenna that aims at it. So things have to be operating, pretty well for it to function. And it's just slowed down in the last week. And then we asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, there's some kind of weird interference, so let me send you a new antenna. That should fix it. So anyway, but it has been going in and out. Like the internet will be totally fine for a while, and then it'll be really slow, and then it'll be off, and but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Oh, and look, I just rambled on for 2 minutes, which means I can get into my monologue here. Yes, I've switched to afternoon. Well, this is evening streams for me. If you're in Dallas, yeah, it's probably afternoon, evening-ish. For me, this is, I don't know, it's like 7:15 in the evening right now. The sun's down, it's dark, so I've got a light on here. If I turn my light off, yeah, it's pretty dark. So I know I'm not wearing any clothes. No, I have shorts on. I'm not wearing a shirt today because it's just hot. It's been so hot lately. And that actually brings me to something I was gonna talk about a little bit. I like to talk about something before we get started. And not too long ago, was it last week or the week before? I don't know. Sometime recently, I was talking about how important it is to not let outside influences screw up your directions in life, right? Like you gotta pick your own life and find your own direction and all that. But once you get all those external voices out of your head, then you have like the real hard part, which is dealing with yourself. And I've got a little story that happened this week for me. And it goes something like this. 2 days ago, I wanted to do some digging outside. And I did some inside stuff and some other things that weren't strenuous and weren't in the sun because it's been so hot. The last week has been ridiculously hot because, rainy season started a couple weeks ago, which means the sun is out all the time. Yeah, whatever, I don't know. People ask me when the rainy season and the sunny season is. There is like an official one, but it's like not accurate at all. Anyway, it's been super hot. So a couple days ago, I was like, I want to go out and get some digging done because I want to build this guest house, and I have to flatten out an area, and then I also want to put some dirt in a spot where I want to grow some stuff and blah blah blah. So I went outside and I was like, blam! I just felt like I was in an oven, on broil, being baked. And so I was like, all right, I want to do 10 buckets. But by the time I got to the top of the hill, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 10 buckets. And by buckets, I mean wheelbarrows. When it gets really hot, I start calling things the wrong things. And I'm always calling my wheelbarrow a bucket. But it's just a bucket on wheels, a big bucket. Anyway, I want to do 10 wheelbarrow loads of dirt. Breaking up the dirt so I can get it in the wheelbarrow, shoveling it in, and then take it into a specific spot and dumping it somewhere else. But by the time I got up there and started hacking away at the ground, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get 10 wheelbarrows of dirt, because I'm going through this section of dirt that's really rooty, and it's like taking 5 times as long to break it up, like so I can even get a shovel into it to get it into the wheelbarrow. And I was like, oh, this is just miserable. This is really hard, and I'm just roasting out in the sun, and it's just hot. And I'm like, okay, look, maybe I'll just do 5. I'll just do 5 wheelbarrows of this really hard area. That would count as like 10 in a normal area, right? So I was like, all right, but just start going, Jaimie, just start going. And already there was a point where I could have quit very easily. I could have just said, oh, it's too hot. I can't be out here doing this stuff. I got to go in. But I was like, no, let's just see what we can do. So I started going. By the time I got my first wheelbarrow full of dirt, I was just soaked with sweat. Like my shirt was totally soaked through. My hands were so wet. I couldn't get a good grip of the wheelbarrow handles because my hands were so wet with sweat. But I found a dry spot on my shirt, wiped them off, picked up my wheelbarrow, drove it down, dumped it, came in, got a drink, went back up. And I was like, all right, I can get 5, right? Just keep going. Just try to get up to 5, or at least 3. But by the time I got to the third one, I was starting to get used to the heat a little bit. And I was like, all right, I can make it to 5. I can make it to 5. I mean, this is really hard digging and stuff, and I'm sweating like a pig, but I can make it to 5. So by the time I got the 4th one done, I was like, you know what? I think I can get 6. I think I can get 6. So then I got the 5th one done, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally getting 6 wheelbarrows. I'm getting one more than I felt like was my medium or my minimum. And so I got the 6th wheelbarrow and dumped it, and I was still like just drenched with sweat. But I realized that the top of my hat stayed dry. Everything else was soaked. I couldn't wipe my hands off on anything else to dry them off so I can get a grip on my tools because everything else was soaked. But the top of my hat was like in the blistering sun, so it was dry enough I could wipe my hands on there and get dry enough hands to hold my tools, my wheelbarrow and stuff. So I was like, all right, I can keep going. And then when I got back to the top of the hill after the 6th one, the sun went behind a cloud, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh, blessed relief. And then I got through the rooty area, and it started getting into this like clay area, and the clay is dense, but it is still way easier to dig than the rooty area. And by the time I got done that 7th one, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm going to 10. I'm getting all 10. So I powered through and got the rest of them done. I drank a lot of water while I was going, and I got 12 wheelbarrows done. And I felt pretty damn good about it. And I was sweating like a pig. I was just hot. And I jumped in the ocean and cooled off a little. Oh man, jumping in the ocean is amazing after just like getting really hot. And then I came in and ate a bunch of food, drank a bunch of stuff. And now I'm like kind of exhausted, but feeling really good, you know? Oh, and that was 2 days ago. And then yesterday, almost the same thing happened, right? But I was like, well, yesterday I did it. So today I got to do it again. Just go, just keep going. And then today the same thing. I was like, you know what? I did it yesterday and the day before that. There's no quitting now. I got to keep going. And it was like this habit had just built up, and there was no more thinking about, oh, maybe I'll only do 5. No, I was like, no, I'm doing 10 minimum. 10, 12. I'm gonna get these wheelbarrows done. And it takes me about 10 minutes per load roughly to break up the dirt and then take a wheelbarrow to where I dump it. Unless it's really hard digging, then it's like 15 or 20 minutes per load. But just keep going and I get through it. But anyway, one of the reasons I'm sitting down is because my legs are so tired, it's hard to stand. But man, I feel great. I feel like really good on the inside. I'm gonna sleep amazing tonight. And I feel just inside I feel good. And tomorrow, I already know that I'm gonna do whatever I need to do, regardless of how hard it is, and I'm gonna make progress and everything and go for it, right? Now, in that story, there were tons of points where I very reasonably could have quit, could have stopped. That first day, I could have stopped after the 5 wheelbarrows and been like, all right, I passed my minimum, so I'm good. Or I could have even stopped at the 6th one and said, I've done one more than the minimum. You know, I'm really hot and sweaty, it's a difficult day, and I did more than the minimum, so that's good enough, right? But you know, just persevering and pushing through and getting to like the good amount done every day, it's one of those things that adds up over time. And in your life, if you develop a habit of always pushing through and doing like the good amount of stuff, not the minimum, but like a good amount of stuff, or even a lot amount of stuff, like you work hard, you just get used to working hard, and you get used to putting in that huge amount of effort. It really builds up over time in two different ways. You know, it just every day, you know, like accomplishing a little more. Obviously, every day you accomplish a little bit more than you would have the day before, and then you accomplish a little bit more and a little bit more. All those little bit mores end up adding up to like a huge amount of work that you do just by doing a little bit extra every day, right? But then also, just getting into the habit of pushing yourself all the time, it literally becomes a habit, and then you know you just automatically do it. And this reminds me of something that has come up throughout my life a lot. So ever since I was a little kid, I was always pushing myself on things, and people would always say stupid things like, Jaimie, is it really worth it? You're like killing yourself. Is it really worth it? I mean, this isn't important what you're doing right now. It doesn't matter. Is it really worth this kind of effort? And I didn't know what the answer was at first. I just felt like I should be putting in this kind of effort, you know, because I want to win, or I want to do a good job, or maybe I want to impress someone, or maybe I want to impress myself, or I don't know. I didn't know why I wanted it. I just felt like I should work hard. But eventually, after I thought about it, I realized I'm not working hard for this one thing I'm doing today. I'm working hard because at some point in the future, there's going to be a day when it does matter, when it really is important. So if I'm used to giving up as soon as things get difficult, or you know, slacking off, when I get to that thing that's really important, I'm probably going to give up on that too. But if I get used to pushing myself all the time, like even if it's just some stupid sports thing or something, you know, I'm just training to run around a track, or do a certain number of push-ups, or you know, do the volleyball shuttle runs in this much time, or whatever, you know, all that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in your life. But putting in that effort over and over builds up the habit, so that when I do get to the important things, then I'm already used to working hard, and I don't have to like take this huge part of my brain and just force myself to work hard, because my brain's already like, well, I'm already used to working hard, so just keep working hard. So yeah, it's like when you're a kid, there are all these opportunities to learn lessons like this. And you know, I see a lot of people today kind of not thinking it matters when things are not important. But what I've learned from life is that it always matters. It always matters. It's always important. It's always worth trying hard and doing your best, regardless of how pointless something is at any point in time, regardless of how little it seems like it's going to affect your life. It's regardless of how much it affects, you know, your external life. It affects you on the inside. You know, it really changes who you are. And if you get used to working hard, now I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse here, but seriously, if you get used to working hard, you turn it into a habit, it just sticks, and you become that person. All right, man, my veins are like sticking out. I've been like, I'm so dehydrated, my veins are popping out. Anyway, what are you guys going on about here? Oh, let's go, Jaimie. Love the spear video. I am really excited to use the spear, because like yeah, I love spearfishing. Spearfishing is so much fun. When I lived in the Bahamas for a winter, I spearfished like every day, like for hours, and it was so fun. It's so fun to like do something that's fun like that, where you also come back with treasure, like a come back with dinner. Oh, it's so good. So I'm really excited to test out the spear and go kill some stuff. And again, I apologize if my video is not that great today. We've been having some internet problem, and we need a new antenna. We're getting one this week. So, you know. What are you digging the hole for? Well, it's not a hole. I'm flattening out an area where I'm going to put a guest house. You know, it'd be like a guest house, an extra kitchen, not an extra chicken, an extra kitchen. I mean, I'm flattening out kind of a big area up on the hill behind my house. Like behind my house, it's just the land is pretty high, and it goes up, and then there's like this gentle, curvy hill. Like it's flat enough you can walk around and everything. But I was just thinking, you know, if I just like flatten this out, I could put a guest house here, and then my lumber mill is in one of the flattened out spots. But if I flatten out that whole thing, it'll be good for like frisbee and, you know, soccer, football, and playing catch and, you know, running around, playing. I'll put golf course grass up there, you know, Bermuda grass, because we have lots of that here. And just make it a cool spot where I can hang out with kids and we can, you know, play sports and stuff and do stuff like that. But then, yeah, I also want to put a guest house up there. The lumber mill goes up there. Well, it's already up there. And then a few other things kind of around the perimeter so that, you know, when people throw the frisbee, it doesn't, and the person doesn't catch it, it doesn't go into the ocean, but maybe hit one of the buildings preferably. And like I want to put a jungle gym up there and stuff. Oh, hold on, I gotta get some Lego pieces apart for my 2-year-old. Is that good? Oh, having kids is so fun. Having kids it's like having little tiny clowns all the time. And actually, like an hour ago, I told my kids, well, I'm going to do this live. And, you know, last time I did a live with you guys here, you're kind of crazy and yelling a lot. And I was like, so I'm just going to put a movie on for you guys, okay? And they're like, cool, yeah, what movie? And I was like, it's a movie I'm just going to pick. But anyway, but I was like, but you got to clean up first. And because they had Lego all over the floor and all these gears and stuff and like building parts and just stuff all over the floor, which is pretty standard because, I mean, they're kids and they're playing with stuff and making stuff, and I don't want to interrupt them. I want them to make stuff and use their imagination. But anyway, my oldest daughter tells the other the younger three, okay, you guys are animals, just like in Snow White, because we saw Snow White, I don't know, like a week ago or something. And all the animals clean up the house, clean up the dwarf's house. So my daughter's like, okay, we're in the dwarf's house, and you guys have to help Snow White to clean up the house. And then for like half an hour, they were running around like absolute lunatics, like screaming and yelling, but they were like picking stuff up and like putting it where it goes. And like my whole house is spotless. It's amazing. They swept and everything. It's ridiculous. It was pretty cool. You're a beast, Jaimie. Oh, I'm glad you corrected your. 12 wheelbarrows? Are you mentally ill? Nice work, Jaimie. Well, yeah, I mean, 12 wheelbarrows isn't that much. Although I do have to take them up, or take them all the way down from the top of the hill, and then I also have to break up the dirt because I can't just dig it in there. It's like kind of solid ground. But when I was digging out the area for my house, I did way more than 12 wheelbarrows a day. Man, that was just, morning to night, just digging. As long as you don't make beating dead horses a habit. I'll try not to. Working hard is therapy, maybe. Working hard is great therapy too, actually. You know, yeah, it's like especially if you feel like you have no control over your life. Like, this is a problem a lot of people have. But if you work hard and you apply your effort into controlling things, like into having some say in how your life turns out, or in controlling something around you, like just basically directing your own life, it is really therapeutic because it makes you feel like you're not just helpless and being shoved around by whatever comes along. It makes you feel like what you do actually matters, and you know, like you actually do have some say in your fate. Like, your fate isn't just some sealed thing. And of course, you could say that your fate is already locked because you're always going to do what you're going to do no matter what you try. You're always going to do what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like you put some effort into things and you make things better. It just really makes you feel better about everything about the world. Hey, Jaimie, pumped to see future Jaimie cooks videos after successful spearfishing. I'm going to have to do cooking videos. Yeah, someone else asked me to do some cooking videos. Was that you? But I do cook like every day, and I cook some weird stuff and some normal stuff, and I don't know. I do a lot of cooking. So perseverance and tenacity, my favorite. They come with the hardest lessons. Yeah. I'm hoping he makes fish pizza. Ooh. Okay, today I made mitza, which is basically pizza with ground beef as the crust. So I mean, it was basically like lasagna without the noodles. I just cooked ground beef in a pan, and then put a bunch of vegetables and tomato sauce, mixed it all around, and then put a bunch of cheese on top. So it was kind of like a pan pizza with no crust, and I called it mitza. It had a lot of meat in it. Let's see, maybe one day you could dig a tunnel into the hill and have it come up in the guest house. That would be kind of cool. I was thinking about digging a tunnel into the hill behind my house. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing that. It would be pretty cool, like secret hideout though. You know, like if straight up like dangerous pirates ever showed up, we could like lock ourselves in there and like have a camouflage door, and then when they walk by, I could stab them. Ooh. How many acres do you have there? Well, my island is like an acre or two, something like that, but I have about 25 acres on another island. It's one of the main islands. So I have a pretty decent amount of land. It's dark there already? Yes, it is totally dark. Here, let me cover up my light. Yep, pretty dark. Well, let's do light from this side for a minute. There we go. Oh, it's blinding me. But yeah, it's totally dark here. Yeah, I love cooking myself. You cook yourself? Oh, dude, I don't recommend that. I mean, I've gotten my thumb or finger a few times. It feels terrible. Don't cook yourself. I love cooking myself and find it interesting seeing what you make on your island. Always figured fish would be a part of your diet, or be a big part of your diet, but never saw any fishing vids. I have done some fishing videos, just not in a while. Usually the way I do videos is I'll do a video about something, and then I'll figure, oh, I've covered that topic. Now I don't have to do it again. So, but then I realized after people kept requesting like boat trip videos, like it's not like I do one boat trip video and then boat trip videos are covered. I should do more boat trip videos. So yeah, I might have to do more fishing videos and stuff like that. For some reason, I feel like the light should be on this side. Maybe it's because my eyeballs already got used to that. Oh, so blinded. But I'm gonna have to do some videos of spearfishing for sure. And I do need to fish more too. I just haven't been doing it enough because I've been doing, I'm just building constantly and doing all this stuff. Although I could totally be dragging a line whenever I'm driving my boat anywhere, and I used to do that more. I should start doing that again. Hard work tempers the self and forges strong character. Yeah, hard work's super important. Are you still doing empty bottles in pontoons? Look into using ping pong balls. I don't want to put ping pong balls. That's too many. Besides, I have to buy them. I don't want to buy something. Yeah, I could get just empty bottles for free and stuff them. So this is in the back of my white boat, the zombie chopper, which I'm kind of renovating a little bit and putting a new battery in it. The new battery in it is the biggest addition. And I wanted to put some flotation stuff in the rear compartment. There's a rear compartment that you can't really get to. You can't store anything in there or anything. It's just where the propeller shaft kind of goes through, and there's nothing back there that you would need to get to. And I kind of wanted to fill it with foam, but then people started saying, well, what if your foam gets waterlogged? And then I was like, oh, what if my foam does get waterlogged? That would be terrible. So I think the consensus that we generally came to was that I should fill it with bottles, like just recycled bottles with the lids on, just stuff them all in there. And it's probably never going to get a leak anyway, but if it gets a leak, then I won't sink, which is a nice thought to have in your head. It's like, just like, if I hit a thing or somehow got a crabber, there's a little leak, I'm not going to sink. That's nice to know. So I'll probably do that. Let's see. Like in Swiss Family Robinson. Probably, yeah. I think that means were you able to drag the downed tree up to your mill? Oh, the tree is I haven't moved yet. I haven't tried to move it yet. I just cut that tree down 2 days ago. Yeah, I think. Maybe it was yesterday. Anyway, I just cut the tree down, and I figured I'd give it a few days to dry out a little before I take it up to the lumber mill. But I can definitely move that. It was only about that big around, and if I cut it maybe 10 feet, like 3 meters long, I can pick that up and move it. Not super easily, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. Wendy, is that a Pac-Man ghost? I was just looking at a Newport Beach. I was just looking at a Newport Beach. A Newport Beach what? Just Newport Beach? Oh, I don't know. What was the ball structure out back of that previous Vermont property? It looked half built. Oh, that was a friend who asked me if she could build a big ball on my property, and I was like, yeah, sure, go for it. So she built this big ball and hung out in it. It was just a thing. Remember pepper frogs from back in Vermont? Oh, peeper frogs. Sorry, not pepper frogs. Remember peeper frogs from back in Vermont? I do remember those. It's peeper season here in New York State. They're going nuts right now. Yeah, I totally remember that sound. Wendy says their boat show has been ruined by Jaimie. I keep looking for the solar paddle boats. Oh, you went to... I was just looking at Newport Beach where they had a boat show. And they have no solar paddle boats. So that's terrible. Who wants them? Who wants a gas farting boat? Yeah, solar paddle boats are way better, man. Closed cell foam doesn't waterlog. It's the open cell foam that gets waterlogged. Now, how to tell the difference between the two, I actually do not know the answer to that. It's actually pretty easy to tell the difference between closed cell foam and open cell foam, because the open cell foam will absorb water. It also says on the package, and the foam I was looking at putting in the boat was closed cell foam. But then I started thinking, even if it's closed cell foam, what if the cells start cracking over time? It doesn't take much. This is a microscopic crack that water can seep into, over time. So it's the kind of thing where I kind of want to test some of this closed cell foam, put it in the water, maybe shake it around. The boat's going to have some vibration in it, right? So is the vibration over time gonna put little cracks in the closed cells and let water in? I don't know. That's why I started thinking maybe I should just do water bottles. Although it would be really nice to just fill that cavity with a solid block of foam that's not going to ever absorb anything. So, yeah, it would be good. It would be good to hear from someone who has some experience with that, with like foam they've poured in a boat that does get exposed to water, and for extended periods of time, see if it ever has a problem. Pizza sounds good. Gotta try that. Yeah, the pizza was pretty good. I made a lot of it and it's all gone. How much is the freight forwarder from Florida? Is it by the pound kilo? It's by volume. And if I remember right, this might be totally wrong, but it's somewhere around $20 per cubic foot ish. But I would not quote me on that. But it's somewhere in that. That's the right order of magnitude anyway. I don't think I'm off by a decimal place. And then, there's import taxes on certain things and whatever. But the freight forwarder, so I order stuff from the States, like on Amazon or whatever. I even have an Amazon wish list down here with some stuff on it. And, people send me stuff on that sometimes. But anytime I order something, it goes to an address in Florida, and then I have to pay to get it shipped from there to here. And the shipping is pretty cheap. The import tax on like electronics is kind of high, but it's still cheaper to import things than it is to buy a lot of things here. It depends on the things, but like something like hand tools, like a hand drill, definitely cheaper to import. For some reason, hand tools are really expensive here. I don't know why. Like hand power tools, they're ridiculously expensive here. And then things like rivets, screws, stuff like that. A lot of that kind of stuff. They don't sell them in bulk here. Like you go in and you get a handful of them, and kind of pay a premium. So I always buy the 50-pound bucket or whatever, and just import them, and it ends up being cheaper, even with the import. Styrofoam won't get waterlogged. Yeah, I've never seen styrofoam get waterlogged. So, I'm wondering if the closed cell foam is okay. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to see someone who's experienced. Now I'm trying to think if I ever seen styrofoam waterlogged. Like, I've pulled styrofoam out of the water that had clearly been floating for a long time. But I don't think I've ever foam that, Oh, let's see. Celeste, it won't let me ask a question. What is your question, Celeste? You can ask a question. What is your question? Is your question why am I being so informal and not even wearing a shirt to my own live? Yeah, it's just hot tonight. It's just really, I have a fan blowing on me actually right now. This guy right here. Oh yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. Yeah, it's been really hot this week. And it hasn't rained in like a week, so it rained this morning actually and cooled it off for a little bit. That was really nice. But then the sun was just baking again. It's just been really hot. Which is funny because it's been cool this entire year pretty much. How is your bridge building project going? Oh, the bridge is done. It's like, yeah, it's in use. Goes all the way to the other island. I got it in a video in the background. I did say something about it in that video. I mentioned it, but I don't know. I guess I have to show it more. Show a better video. Oh, Celeste says, it was too long. Here. Her question was too long. If someone were to move to an island in that area with 3 kids, what would they need to bring, in your opinion? Well, if it's you, not that much. But we totally have to talk about that. Like, what do you think would be absolutely necessary in terms of basic supplies to start? Hold on, I've got a thing. My 2-year-old's giving me a thing. Well, you got a thing for me?
Yeah, it's made of Lego.
So you made this for me out of Lego?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Can I give it back to you?
Yeah.
Can you put it in the Lego and keep it safe?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you what it is later. Okay, what? Let's see. Like, what do you think would be absolutely necessary in terms of basic supplies to start? Besides the adventure builder skills, oh yes, those are most important, of course. I mean, physical supplies, tools. Okay, like, if I were to come here with 3 kids, and I was trying to like prep for stuff, what would I bring? I would bring some. like some really good basic tools, stainless stuff, like a Leatherman, because they're stainless. I'm pretty sure mine are stainless. Like a few good tools like that you can use for a lot of different things. I wish I had one of those, my Leatherman, when I first got here. That would have been great. Maybe I did. Anyway, a light, like a decent light that you can recharge, maybe in the sun, or maybe plugging it into something. It is actually kind of nice to have some kind of little portable solar power thing. If you have a phone or anything like that you can plug, you can just put a solar panel out and plug your phone in through a USB. Those are always useful to have, even if you're in a place where you can plug in your phone. Like if you're out on a boat or out hiking or something, or just away from other things. It's just nice to have some kind of portable power supply that you can just like open up and just anywhere plug something in. Unless you don't feel like you ever need a phone or anything, walkie-talkies. Yeah, with 3 kids, it's good to have walkie-talkies so that if you have to go somewhere and leave some kids somewhere or something, not that I'm saying you should leave your kids anywhere, but like if I go out and I'm like working on something outside, I might like take a walkie-talkie with me outside and leave one inside and just, checking on the kids, check on the kids every once in a while kind of thing. Walkie-talkies are good to have just as a safety thing. But other than that, like tools and any kind of stainless tools, like I have stainless steel shovels that I love, and I originally found them on Amazon and the handles were not stainless, but the digger part was stainless. So the handles ended up falling apart, but then I put my own stainless pipes on the digger part, so now I have full stainless shovels, and those are great. I also made some stainless shovels just from scratch. But yeah, just like any kind of tool, things like that are gonna last, and something to cook with. But it depends. I mean, you can get stuff here, or you can make stuff here. It depends if you want to cook on fire. I mean, not fire. If you want to cook on a wood fire or like a propane fire. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that more. What would I bring if I was moving here with 3 kids? What stuff would I want to bring? I'm totally gonna have to think about that more. Closed foam seems the thing to go with. Found a brand, Versafoam, for boats. Yeah, I was looking at closed cell foam. Obviously, you want to use closed cell foam if it's going to be in a flotation situation, because open cell foam will just absorb water and it won't work at all. You probably could construct a huge ceiling fan. That is true. I could construct a huge ceiling fan. I don't know if I want a huge ceiling fan though. I don't know. I just have so many things to do. This little fan is actually really good for just blowing at me. And the thing is, it doesn't often get hot enough that I feel like I need a fan. Generally speaking, it's like always comfortable in the house or in the shade in general. It's just this week it got really hot. Oh, it's the global warming. It's coming to get me. Let's see. A boat. Someone said a boat, and that's all you said. Looks like you are filming a horror film. What was that guy? Vincent Price? Oh, I don't remember what he used to say. I'm sure he had some catchphrases, though, that I can't remember that I should probably say right now. Yeah, I want to suck your blood. That is too bright. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Maybe I need a less severe light. This is oh my God, I think it's so bright. I'm like blinded. Yeah, right here in my vision, it's just like dark. Oh, come on. Houseboat would be a great start. Yeah, actually, if I was gonna come down here again with 3 kids, I would save the airline money, and I would buy a sailboat and I would sail down. Of course, that requires you to be, adventurous in such a way that you would want to get on a sailboat. And sail it like along the coast all the way here, which I would love to do. I mean, I would want to practice a bunch first before I went, and then I would be super careful having kids on the boat, obviously.
I'm in two.
But yeah, that would be a cool thing. A solar Lucy light is a very good brand, and I use my Leatherman every day. They don't make the one I have anymore. A twig stove is a great cooking source. Yeah, you know, I had one of those Lucy lights, and it popped, and then it stopped working. I don't know, it didn't seem like it was any better than any other lights I've had before. Good on the spot answers. I've got all of that so far. Oh, great, Celeste. Well, then you're probably pretty good. Let me think. What else do you need? I don't know. Boots. Rubber boots. Yeah, rubber boots. Hold on. I better answer my 2-year-old here. She's telling me something important. What's going on? Oh, you're building me more Lego stuff? She's building me more Lego stuff. So there's a movie on right now, but she doesn't really watch movies. The other kids are all watching it. It's funny, when I put this movie on, they're like, oh, I don't want to watch that. And now they're totally engrossed, which happens every time Papa picks the movie. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh my gosh, this is great. Happens with food too. For some reason, my son, I think it's become a joke for him. He's like, no, I don't want to eat that. It sounds terrible. And then he like takes a bite and is like, ooh, this is so good. I think it's just a joke at this point though, because it happens like every day. For less severe light, look up a softbox used by the movie industry. I have seen those stuff, but I don't know. I'm probably not going to get any fancy lighting stuff. You know what I could do is I could just put something in, like a sheet of paper in front of this light, even just something to diffuse it a little. But it's just not that important. Yeah, I just don't get it much. Man, every time I look at it, I do get a blind spot in the middle of my eyes for a second. If you feel you have to, oh man, I totally have like a bright spot right in the middle of my vision. I looked at that stupid light. If you feel you have no value in life and everything you do yields negative results, what is worth it in life to keep going? Oh, that's a big question. If you feel you have no value in life and everything you do yields negative results, what is worth it in life to keep going? Well, you know, I've been in a situation where I kind of felt pretty much like nothing was worth it, and I had no value, and you know, yeah, I've kind of been there, and the conclusion I ended up coming to was that, you know, I've only got one chance at life, so I might as well make the best of it. And if I get to the point where I'm like ready to die, then I can risk anything to try to make it better. And that's the reason my life is pretty good now, is because it's kind of become a habit at this point. It's like anytime things are going in a more negative direction in my life, I immediately snap into, all right, am I ready to die here, or am I going to keep living? And if I'm not going to continue down this path. If I'm not going to continue down a bad path. I'd rather die. Like, I'd rather die than have my life go wrong. But when you are willing to die, that means you have nothing to lose. So that means you can put everything into improving your life, knowing that if it fails, you're ready to die anyway. So it's you're at a, it's a scary position to be in, but it's also a really powerful position to be in. It's a really useful position because you can be totally fearless, because if there's nothing left to lose, you can risk anything, and just you can even risk your life to make your life better. You can do whatever you have to make your life better. So I guess that's what I would say. You know, if you feel like you're in a position where you have no value and everything you do is going wrong and it sucks, you know what? Just let it all go. Accept that the life you have right now, maybe it's all garbage. Maybe it's not worth living. And and put everything you've got into making it better. Do whatever you have to do to make it better. Eric, you gotta talk louder. I mean, quieter, not louder, quieter. You can build with this stuff. That's good, but just talk quieter, because you're talking over me a little bit. Anyway, yeah, when you feel like life is a total bust, you have there's nothing to hold you back from doing whatever you have to do to make it better, even at the risk of your own life. Now, I'm not saying you should go around risking your life or anything, but I'm just saying, when you get to that point where your life feels worthless, you really have nothing to lose by putting all your eggs into one basket and going for it, whatever basket that is. And even if that one falls through, if you're still alive, you're still breathing, just keep going for it. Like, the way I see it, and there are circumstances where this doesn't apply, but generally speaking, if I'm going out, I want to fight to the death. I don't want to die sleeping. I want to go out fighting, So I would say fight. Do it. Try to make your life better. Do whatever you can. When do the first boards coming off the sawmill? I know what you're trying to say. Well, if I cut that palm tree that I cut down the other day, I don't know, any day now. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. I just need a sunny morning when I can, cut it, drag it up to the sawmill and cut some boards. That tree won't be like, official boards that I'm going to use for like my second and third floor or anything. But, if I get decent boards out of it, I'll make something. I don't know what. But the first boards I cut that will be for my second and third floors, I don't know. That's probably not going to be for a while, because I have some work to do before I get logs from where I'm going to get them to here. Anyone that feels like not going on should get some help. Well, that depends on the situation. Personally, I've never found that getting help actually helped me. So it probably depends on who you are and what your situation, what your personality is like. And I'm somewhat of an unusual person, obviously, a little unorthodox. So in the past, when I've had really difficult times in my life, when I tried to get help from other people, it never went well. I mean, most of the time, they basically said, piss off, you're a piece of crap. I don't want anything to, just your garbage, go away. I got a lot of that when I was a kid, which was not helpful. But then even people who tried to help, they never really helped. My life never got better, and I didn't get better until I just took it totally upon myself to make my life better. Like, I had to do it myself. No one else could do it for me or even help me with it. And maybe that's something weird about me, but there are people who are like that, who can't really be helped. And it doesn't mean they're beyond help. It just means, other people can't help them. Like, they just have to do it themselves. So, yeah, for some people, if you feel worthless, you should get some help. But for a lot of people, you just gotta go inside your own head and try to get things into perspective and say, okay, I have to let go of some things, maybe let go of everything, and just look at my life in the most objective way, and just say, okay, here I am. What have I got going for me? What have I got going against me? Which things that are going against me can I get rid of? Which things that are going for me can I augment in some way? Like, what can I do? And one thing I've done a lot of times in my life is I'll look at my life as a video game, and I'll say, okay, let me just step out of my life and look at it like that Jaimie, he's the character in a video game, and I'm just controlling him. What would I do then? And hey guys, no, don't do that. Car Canyon, back off. No, don't push on her like that.
I'm not.
No, move. Car Canyon, I'm gonna move you if you don't do it yourself. Oh, gotta lay down the law sometimes. Kid leaning on another kid. Anyway, yeah, I'll look at my life like it's a video game. Because like when you play a video game and you look at the character, you're generally in a state of what can I do that's going to be good? Like how can I make this better? Like how can I enjoy this? How can I solve problems? How can I get somewhere? How can I get ahead? How can I like when you play a video game, you're generally in a very positive, constructive mindset. Unless, you know, I mean, a lot of kids play video games that are very destructive today, which I hate that. God, what a waste of a video game. Like, you should play video games that are constructive or in some way, like if you're destroying things, destroy things for a good reason. You know, be the good guy, don't be the bad guy. Anyway, so if I look at my life in that way, it helps me figure out what I should be doing. It helps me kind of get off my butt and not waste time, you know? Let's see. Kids don't need you all the time, but they need you now. Yeah. Would you ever compete on the survival show Naked and Afraid? I know what the show is vaguely. I don't know, is it a competition? Would you compete on the show? I didn't even know there was a competition in the show. The only thing I know about that show is there are people and they're like put in some wilderness naked and I guess they're afraid and then they have to survive or something. I don't know. I don't actually know what it is. But I don't know, maybe, sure. I don't care about being naked. I'd have to have a pretty good reason to do it. There'd have to be some pretty good incentive because I like what I'm doing here. I don't want to go anywhere. I love my life here. But I don't know, sure, why not? Is it realistic to think an American can earn a livable income locally? Did you move down with a good stash of money? Oh, are you saying is it realistic to think an American can earn a livable income here locally? Yeah, totally. Why not? Of course, it depends on what you consider to be a livable income. To me, one of the big points of being here is that I don't have a high cost of living here. Like, you know, rent. I don't have any loans or bills of any kind. Internet is the only recurring bill that I have. I don't even have a phone plan or anything. I don't have a phone at all. But, you know, when I get to the point where I'm growing all my own food, my expenses will be like almost nothing. Even right now, you know, I drive pedal solar boats. I don't have any gas expenses. I don't know what my yearly expenses are at the moment, but they're not very high. They're pretty low. Most of the money I spend is actually on projects, and I can justify those because when I do the projects and then put them on, then I make some money back from them. So I can, you know, the projects kind of pay for themselves. Plus, people donate a lot of things to the project. So, but other than that, like I don't spend that much money. I don't know what my food bill is every month. Maybe $300 a month, ish, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to double check that, but I think it might even be less than that. Of course, it depends. You know, depends. Yeah, I don't know. But yes, you can definitely earn a livable income. I did move down here with some savings, so it wasn't okay. This is something that I've seen people do that just I don't understand how they do it. Like people will move here or to like a place like this. I've heard of people doing this in, you know, Indonesia or various other places with basically no money and thinking they're going to show up and somehow just magically buy land, have a house. It's like or just have a job and they'll just get a loan to buy their land and their house, and then they'll just work their job to pay it off like you do in the United States. That whole thing doesn't make sense to me. That whole credit system is just a way of getting sucked into slavery. Like, I came here with enough money to buy land and be able to build a house and some boats and stuff like that. So So if I was going to do something like this again, yeah, I would definitely go with a stash of money, like enough money to basically get started. And then yeah, you can get a job. Like I could get a job here doing a lot of different things. People often ask me if I'll repair boats or build a house or build a deck, or I don't know, lots people ask me to do a lot of things just because they see that I can do them. So if you know how to build stuff, you can get a job pretty much anywhere. Like anywhere you go, if people see that you know how to build things, like someone's going to be like, hey, I don't know how to build a thing. Can you build it for me? And you can make money doing that pretty much anywhere. Your lumber sounded like an airplane taking off until you got the amperage right. Second year is awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, I think one of the reasons my lumber mill sounds really loud is because the aluminium kind of amplifies the sound of the vibrating. When I turned the motor on, when it wasn't attached to that big acoustic frame, it was really quiet. But then I put it on that thing, and it's like the whole thing, just like an amplifier. But once it gets up to speed, actually the sound isn't that bad. But I mean, I don't really care about the sound that much. It's just I'm cutting wood. It can be a little loud. It's not loud enough that I feel like I need ear blockers. Although it probably picks up really loud on the camera because cameras always adjust sounds to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, what's the movie? My kids are watching Stick It right now, which is this gymnastics movie that I thought was all right. It's not just a gymnastics movie, it's about personal issues and stuff. Actually, the main character in this movie, it was stick it, like when you're doing gymnastics and you gotta stick your landing, stick it. So the main character in this movie, she's a bit bratty, and I have a 12-year-old who's maybe a tiny bit bratty at times, so I thought she could relate to this character. Anyway, and the character has some personal growth through the movie, which is nice. Celeste, this is classic dude Mike saying to Celeste, a cheap or abandoned sailboat from Florida would be a perfect place to live while you get your bearings in Panama. That's actually exactly what I would do if I was in the States coming here again. Now when I first moved here, I didn't know where I was going to end up, so I didn't know what I should do and shouldn't do. But now that I know this place exists, and like if I was in the States and doing it again, and I knew I was coming here, I would have gone to Florida, just gone on Craigslist or asked around at marinas and looked for a cheap sailboat that was in decent condition, that had maybe some stuff I could repair or whatever, and buy it and then sail that down. I think that would be so fun. That would be such a cool adventure. Of course, I would make sure I'm really careful about the weather. I would check the weather, like if there is like any remote chance of a storm, I would not go out in a boat with kids. For your information, Celeste, sailboats for sale down in Bocas, missing a mast. That seems pretty good otherwise. $11,000. Oh, you can get a sailboat in Florida for like knock a zero off that, or free. I mean, you can get in Florida. There's so many sailboats, and people are like abandoning them and stuff. I'd move the world. Oh, this is Bearer D2. Is that what this says? I'd move the world over for love. Yet no one seems to want or need the love I'm able to give. Oh man, I hope someone is. Yeah, that's an annoying position to be in, when you do anything for love and then like you have so much love to give and there's no one there for you. I hope you find someone good. That would be, I really hope you find someone good, man. Especially relationships are hard today because people don't connect anymore. Everyone's connected to these screens, and here I am talking to a screen. Sorry about the irony there, but people are so connected to their screens, and we're not connecting on a human level anymore, which is unfortunate because there are so many people who could connect and make lives better and stuff. But okay, get your bone. Don't want to keep on keeping on. get outside yourself, help someone else, get into the wilderness, and battle Mother Nature. Those are the things I've done. That stuff does help. Yeah, it kind of helps like snap you out of a depression. Yeah, getting into nature and like using your personal energy, like putting energy into something, helping some people, battling Mother Nature. I mean, you don't really want to battle Mother Nature, but like, you know, I kind of think of it as working with Mother Nature. I mean, I know I'm putting a lot of energy into, you know, moving some dirt and, you know, cutting up trees, but no, Mother Nature was helping me out by putting the dirt there and the trees there in the first place, you know, so we're working together, right? Oh, Asimov Watts, great answer, Jaimie. Well, thanks, man. Like Red says, get busy living. I don't know who is that. Red who? Red green? Anyway, listen to Jaimie while filling. While filling in electric and water trenches off grid. Oh, cool, man. So you're putting all your water and electric lines underground. I guess I've done that a little bit. I try to avoid doing that because, you know, you never know when you're going to have a problem with an underground line and have to dig it up. I do have an underground water line, though. And so far, it's been fine. John Schlick says, Bob Carlson, my headphones don't reach to where I'm trying to clean up some clay tile extruded a few days ago. I'm mostly just ignoring that project for a little bit, but I'll get it done after. Just joined. Random question. Ooh, do you or your kids get sunburned? Wear sunscreen at all? I don't wear sunscreen. I've been out in the sun a lot recently, and my forearms get the most sun, but they seem fine. And I do try not to like just stay in the sun for extended periods of time. And my kids, hey you guys, don't start screaming. With my kids, I just kind of have, you know, the dad alarm that's like, the kids are in the sun too long, or not too long. I mean, the alarm goes off before they're in the sun too long. But I'm always telling them, like, hey, you know, move over. Don't stay in the sun there. Go in the shade of that tree right there. Just move over like 3 feet and you'll be in the shade. I'm always kind of shuffling them into shade and stuff. So they don't really just like spend time straight up in the sun. But we don't generally wear sunscreen or anything like that. But we're usually not out in the sun. Now, the only times I do get sunburnt a little is when I go on a boat ride and like sometimes like my arm will get a little sunburn. Although usually I try to wear a long sleeve shirt if that's going to happen, or at least like sometimes I'll take my shirt off and just drape it over the side of me that's facing the sun. But usually it's not a problem. But just in the boat, you have to be careful because you get the sun from the air and then the sun bouncing off the water, so you get double sun, you know. Banks are not one's friend. Oh man. Yeah, banks. Take your money out of the banks, man. Don't get a loan. Once you owe the bank, your life is not yours. Is there more handiwork in Central America compared to the US? There is handiwork everywhere. Like I've never been in a place where you couldn't do handiwork. Maybe England actually. Just because the rules were so insane there. Like you had to get permission from the council to like pick your nose. But generally speaking, a place that makes sense. People always need things to be built or repaired, or you know, there's always, if you're able to do building and repairs, you're always going to be able to find some kind of work doing stuff. And the more diverse your skills are, the easier it is stuff you can do. Particularly if you have a good work ethic. If you have a good work ethic, man, good people are hard to find. And anyone who's hired people will tell you, man, it's really hard to find people who are motivated and will do a good job. So if you're motivated and will do a good job, you can always find work. Your pure perseverance is amazing. You are inspiring, intimidating, all at the same time. Well, I try not to be intimidating. That kind of reminds me of something that happened in high school. Once, when I was in high school, I asked one of my friends, I was like, I mean, we were just talking about people, and I was like, well, how do people see me? And he was like, you're intimidating. And I was like, what do you mean I'm intimidating? I'm not intimidating. And he's like, dude, you're like the scariest person I know. Because, like, I never smiled. I was always, I did a lot of exercise. And when I wasn't doing exercise, I was just in my head thinking about things and just not smiling and just being very intense. And after that, I made it a point to speak a little more. I'm a little bit more Mickey Mousey than I did before, because I didn't want to be so intimidating and scary. So maybe I need to be a little more not intimidating. I've never been in a boat. Oh man, I love boats. I think I could make it from Mississippi Gulf Coast to down there with a loaf of bread, some cheese, and a compass? Oh yeah. I mean, if your loaf of bread is like the size of a boat.
I love boats.
You love boats?
Yeah.
Do you need to tell everyone in the world that you love boats?
Yeah.
You love boats. I love boats too. That's why we moved here. I like boats so much more than cars. Oh, there's so much freedom in a boat. Ooh, Christopher has a question. What?
I said, what about a car boat?
Oh, I don't want a car boat. Do you ever make hot bath? Oh God, the idea of a hot bath. Oh God. If not, do you miss taking hot baths? Oh. So it's just saying, I've always exercised a lot. Oh man, the idea of a hot bath. Like, first, I don't like baths, because it's like just like stewing in your own filth. Why would you do that? Like, if I was gonna get in the bath, I want to be clean before I get in the bathtub. I don't want to get in the bathtub and just get all like, ooh, all the filth is off me now. I'm just floating in my own dirt. Oh. But yeah, the idea of a hot bath is just, like, I always have cold showers. I always want to cool off in the shower. Even in the winter, like when I had a winter, I would always have cold showers, because I would have a shower after I'd go out running 10 miles or something. And I would come back and I'd be like just hot and sweaty, and I'd like have a cold shower. And when I lived in Vermont, in the winters, I would have snow showers. And I would always do it like after going for a run or cutting a bunch of wood or doing something very vigorous so it was hot. And then, if you're hot enough, you can just take handfuls of snow and it'll melt and you can have a snow shower and it would cool me off. So I guess if I missed anything about water temperatures since moving here, would be cold water. In Vermont, I had the spring. Oh, that was the most delicious water I've ever had. But the spring water came out pretty cold, like all year. It never froze or anything. It was always the ground temperature. So it always came out cold, even if it was hot out. And I had it kind of running down a pipe, and it would dump into this 300 gallon and then overflow and just keep running through. And that became known as the Arctic dip. Oh, it was so cold and so nice. I would jump in there all year until it started icing over, and then it would crack the ice and jump in until it just got too cold, and I was worried about the pipe coming in freezing. But oh man, I like the cold. Red. Oh, red is from Shawshank Redemption, right? Yes, get busy living. Yep, red from Shawshank Redemption. Yep. John Cena is a wrestler, and his motto is never give up. He is a very admirable human. He made more Make-A-Wish for children than anyone, and is a hard worker. Well, he sounds like a great guy to me. I don't know anything about John Cena. I've seen him on a few YouTube videos here and there, just like for a few seconds at a time. And yeah, he seems like a pretty good guy. Seems like a hard-working, positive influence. I feel like I might get along with a guy like that. He does seem like a pretty cool guy. Currently, the shit that I'm in, this is Bearer D2. Currently, the shit that I'm in is that I couldn't even inherit the home I live in. If something were to happen, my job doesn't pay enough to move out, and I feel stuck. Well, all right, there's a way out. If there's one thing I've learned in life, It's that no matter how hopeless a situation is, at least so far, this has always held up. No matter how hopeless the situation is, there's always some way to get around it, through it, fix. There's some option that you're not seeing, and I've always found this to be true. And I've had a lot of situations where at first I was just like, I'm screwed. I'm completely screwed. There's no way to handle this. But then I would just remind myself, okay, how many times have I been in a situation where I was completely screwed, and then, a day goes by and I wait, or maybe I try something, or somehow I change a perspective, or somehow I just don't give up and start pushing, and something knocks loose and something comes up where it's like, oh, I'm totally fine. It's happened over and over. And this is going to be kind of silly, but this is something, I didn't learn this lesson here, but it's a lesson that was really reinforced in my head when I watched this show called Stargate Atlantis. And there was this guy, Rodney, in Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Atlantis, it's one of those sci-fi, there's outer space, spaceships, and teleportation and all this stuff. There's this guy, Rodney, who's super smart, and he's the one who always had to figure out how to solve the problem. And often in this show, like toward the beginning of the show, there would be presented this unsolvable problem, just this impossible thing. And during the show, he would figure out how to solve it. And obviously, it was all of these fake problems that people just made up, and then the writers just whatever. But the concept of having an impossible possible obstacle thrust upon you, and then just having no idea how to solve it, but then just going through steps and starting coming at it from different angles, and eventually something cracks. Like, that's the thing about not giving up. Like, you can come up to the most insane obstacles, and if you keep pushing on them and you absolutely refuse to give up, like, you'll be amazed at how many obstacles will give way to you because you won't give up on pushing them. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually something cracks, something falls, something gets out of the way, and you get to go. So, you may be in a really difficult situation that seems impossible, but don't count yourself out. Keep trying, and one thing is really try to think, this is going to sound silly, but outside the box. Like, try to figure out what you haven't thought about. Try to figure out what you haven't been seeing. Like, try to see something in your situation that you've never noticed before. And that's the thing that's solved the most problems for me, is just stopping and saying, okay, what am I not seeing? And just like banging my head against the wall for minutes, hours, days, whatever. And then eventually I'm like, oh, that's something I didn't notice, and it's been there the whole time, and this is how I can solve it. And a lot of times, it involves a lot of hard work, like really hard work. But once you figure out the problem and it comes down to a matter of hard work, then you can make progress, and then you can start getting somewhere, and then you start getting into the habit of making progress and getting better. And you just take that depression and it starts falling away, and you start making progress. And a few months can go by and your life can completely change. Let's see. The only future is packing up to a different place. Yeah. The thing is, that's not even going to be your only future. There's going to be other options you have, but maybe that is the option. Maybe that is the option you should do. And, a lot of times I've had situations where it seemed impossible. Okay, when I first moved off grid, I was just like, I cannot live in this society. I can't operate this place that goes against all of my morals, everything I care about, everything I think is important. I can't do any of that living in this normal society. And I was told over and over, no, you can't live off grid. It's crazy. You'll die. You'll freeze. We've moved forward in civilization. away from that kind of living. And if you go back to that, you're going backwards, and you're basically throwing away your life. And there was so much what's the word? There's a word for this. It's just so much outside pressure to not do that. To just basically say it was stupid and useless and worthless, and you cannot do it. And eventually I just had to take a chance and be like, you know what? I get that there is no way this can possibly be the solution according to all these people. But this is the only solution I'm seeing, so I have to take a chance on myself. And it's totally scary taking a chance on yourself and doing what you think you need to do despite what everyone else is telling you is wrong. Because if it goes wrong, then it's your fault. But that's the thing about taking your life in your own hands. It's going to be your own fault, whatever happens. It's your responsibility. I don't know. Figure it out, man. Just don't give up on yourself. Keep trying. Be willing to do whatever you got to do to fix your life. Because, one day we're all going to end up dead, and it's not going to matter. We have one chance to live now. Do what you got to do. Secret to living under trees is migrating with the shade. Yeah. If you're not social, you're scary or weird. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, when I wouldn't say I'm antisocial. I can be very social, but often I'm not that social. And then, I get called, basically scary or weird, whatever. But, I bet a lot of people who watch my channel have that same situation. Idea, Fresnel or Fresnel lens, Fresnel. Water heater for hot baths. Oh, hot baths. Oh, God. Oh, the idea of a hot bath here. It's just like I'm not wearing a shirt because I'm just hot. Oh, it's just so hot. Yes, Japanese clean themselves before getting in the bath. There does seem to be health benefits of hot baths and sauna. Dude, whenever I'm out in the sun, I'm in a sauna. Like, I was sweating like a pig for hours today while I was digging. I don't think I need more sauna. Well, okay, nobody needs a life companion. Like, you're not going to die without it. You could easily say that to meet your full potential in life, or to live your full... Yeah, you might need a life partner if that's something you care about. Like, for me, I wanted to have kids. If I didn't have kids, I would have felt like I missed something. And I would also like to have a life partner. You know what? I wouldn't just like to. That's something I need to do. Yeah, you're right, man. You can need that. And I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. Although maybe I should think it's the end of the world. But yeah, I think it's very important, personally, for me to find a life partner that I can have like a real loving relationship with, like a positive, reinforcing kind of chain reaction kind of thing, where we reinforce each other all the time with positiveness, and I don't think that's a weakness at all. In fact, I think it's more of a weakness to say you don't need it, and to deny the fact that men and women are made for each other. Like literally, men and women evolved to work together. And I mean, you can debate that all you want, but at some point I'm just going to say, okay, you can't make babies without a man and a woman. Women have to work together. We've evolved to work together. Without men and women working together, there is no survival of the species. So denying that and just saying, well, I don't need anything, I think that's much more cowardly than saying, just being honest and saying, I really want that. I want that. I really want that kind of relationship.
What's that black thing?
What black thing?
The thing I...
Oh, where's your blanket?
Yeah.
Oh, I looked at that light again, and I'm so happy right now. I don't know. It's over there. You need a light to find it, don't you?
And I can't find my...
Remember that time the President Lyndon Johnson picked up his dog by the ears for that picture? What? He picked up a dog by the ears? I don't know. I don't know how dogs feel about that. I know you can pick them up by the scruff of the neck and they're totally fine, which looks kind of horrible if you don't know that it's fine. But, the movie's over. I think I got to get out of here. I got like 4 kids who need to go to bed and they need to see what's going on.
No.
Maybe I'll go through the rest of these questions real quick. Give me 2 minutes to go through the rest of the questions. Yeah, dude? Okay. Do you ever check out the vids YouTuber post about visiting your old place in Vermont? No. I've not watched any of the videos about my old place in Vermont. When I sold it because I didn't want to maintain this emotional connection to this place that, honestly, I put my heart and soul into that place. Like, that was my home, and I built it from like nothing, and I didn't want to be carrying that baggage with me. You heard a dog bark?
I heard a wolf.
Let's see. Overcome thinking of it as a craving. Oh, you mean in terms of wanting a partner? Well, it doesn't matter if it's a craving or not. I mean, I think men and women evolve to cooperate, work together. It's like we want each other. Like, that's a big part of life, is having that connection. Unless, you're gay, fine, whatever. This is the same thing, I don't know how it works if you're gay. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I can only talk from the perspective of a fearless 28-foot car boat at the boat show was pretty cool. Ooh, I'm gonna have to look at that. 28-foot car boat. You could build a ramp, or I think you're saying a ram pump. Anything about hot. Okay, Celeste says, bye dude, gotta go give those kids some snozzles and kisses from us. Talk with you later. Yes, we'll talk soon. Thanks to Classic Dude Mike and Get in Carbone for the sailboat info. Oh, Celeste, if you mind and stuff, although it'd probably be better to actually be in Florida and go to marinas and ask, just ask dumb questions, just stick your nose in people's business. Percent of the Earth's population large. There's some typos here. Population in large urban centers. Partnering is an aspect of that drive. Well, part of the reason people move to cities is also there's a lot of propaganda about it. But you're right. We are. We have to be social. Without being social, we cease to exist as a species. Cena or Cena means dinner in Italian. Well, Cena means dinner in Spanish. But John Cena says it's John Cena, right? Anyway, I love a lot of very ridiculous things. Pizza means pie, so I thought when people say pizza pie. Oh, dang typos, yeah. How do you feel about peanut butter and hot sauce? I don't know. I think that sounds like it would be fine. I don't mix peanut. I have made a peanut butter sandwich out of pizza bread, and I would totally put hot sauce on that. Humans are infinitely capable. Humans are amazing. Yeah. It's incredible the potential we have for constructive behavior or for destructive behavior. And if we can just get ourselves aligned to being constructive, we can do anything. Do you have an opinion? Building your own batteries from repurposed EV, medicals, other lithium packs, or just buy new commercially produced sealed lithium with built-in BMS? Well, I've built my own lithium batteries from definitely used ones, and there's some drawbacks. I'm about to get my first brand new ones, and I'm probably gonna like them a lot. But we'll see. I also built solar panels and bought new solar panels, and generally speaking, it's worth making your own. Reduce bills, eliminate debt, work more, increase savings, and build a fund to launch yourself off grid. It can be done. Yeah, when I was saving money to move off grid, I ate very lean. I spent about $1 a day in food, and a lot of the rest of the supply I had, so I didn't have to figure out what to do with it. They were just like, here's a week I'd go to this one farmer's market. It was in Boston called Haymarket. It was at Haymarket. I guess the farmer's market was called Haymarket. Anyway, Jaimie, congratulations, your incredible sawmill. I'm jumping into the middle of the live stream. Ultra red looking, also so creative and cool looking. Yeah, I'm really happy with the paint job on that boat. We're living in a world that went from few machines doing the labor to huge machines doing the labor, and the most reliable, most versatile machine that I have. So I use myself for a lot of things. You're the garden pest crab. Thanks for the talk. Until next time. Later, don't forget to ask what the Lego art was. Yes, I have to ask that. There's an international music festival in Panama in October. It's called Tribal Gathering. I think that you might meet your life partner there. Well, that's possible. Where in Panama is it? Like Panama City? That's all the way. Let's see. It's called Tribal Gathering. Maybe I'll look it up. I don't really go anywhere though. Moral of Jaimie's Vermont Plays. Only the movie is actually playing again because I guess it was on repeat. So I should go stop that or tell one of the kids to stop it. Everyone have an excellent night, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you've got. Have an excellent one. And I will talk with you soon and me in video soon. And all right, I'm getting out of here. So.